Hey guys, it's Cyze. In this video, we're going to be looking at the Windwalker Monk talent tree, specifically looking at the choice nodes in the middle, Storm, Earth and Fire versus Serenity, which talent you're going to be taking for different kinds of content, different kinds of builds, and I hope this video helps you understand the interactions a little bit better on the Windwalker talent tree. Well, let's get into it. On the left hand side of the tree, this is what most people will remember Shadowlands Windwalker to look like. You've got a lot of spinning crane kick enhancing abilities. You have Bone Dust Brew on the bottom left. And this is what really stuck out to the average individual playing Windwalker, or people watching Windwalker in Shadowlands. They saw Bone Dust Brew and spinning crane kick being 80% of a monk's damage over the course of any fight. And admittedly, a lot of people that I've spoken to, and the Windwalker community in general, have wanted to move away from this style of gameplay. And whilst you might not be able to, if you want to compete in AoE or cleave scenarios going into Dragonflight, there might be an alternative kind of build in the form of Serenity, paired with Strike of the Windlord, Rising Star and Transfer the Power builds, where your primary focus is on buffing Fist of Fury and Rising Sun Kick in order to maximise your single target priority damage, while not losing out too much on AoE or cleave. The left hand side of the tree isn't a copy and paste of Shadowlands Windwalker, but you will see it is a large proportion of the current playstyle when you've got Mark of the Crane built into it, Dancer GG procs and Bone Dust Brew still there. So looking a little bit closer at the different choice node builds, I will treat it as if you don't know what Storm, Earth and Fire is and Serenity is, just for the average viewer that are coming in and looking at Monk. Storm, Earth and Fire split into 3 elemental spirits for 15 seconds each, dealing 45% of your normal damage or healing. You can control the spirits and they mimic your attacks on multiple targets. Whether you're Fist of Fury, Rising Sun Kick, Spinning Crane Kick, they will mimic that ability. You can press the keybind again to make them fixate on your target, and this does pair well with Spinning Crane Kick and Mark of the Crane, as the spirits will apply the Mark of the Crane buff to the enemies as well. And it increases the damage of Spinning Crane Kick by 18%, stacking up to 5 times for a 90% overall increase. You would also take Shadow Box and Treads with this, which makes Blackout Kick strike additional 2 targets, and building down into the Crane Vortex build, which increases Spinning Crane Kick damage by 20% as well. Storm, Earth and Fire does have less value in AoE, due to Shadow Box and Treads making it faster and easier to cap on Mark of the Crane, as each Blackout Kick counts towards a stack of Mark of the Crane. Bone Dust requires 2 talent points in Attunation at the bottom, and Mythic Plus and multi-target builds are still yet to be determined, based on needing scaling, numbers crunching, and it's hard to know without coordinated offensive and calculated strikes how it's going to look. Bone Dust Brew might still be contestable with other builds, especially if you are taking those Fist of Fury nodes as you use them during your Bone Dust Brew window. So looking at Serenity, enter an elevated state of mental and physical serenity for 12 seconds. While active, you deal 20% increased damage and healing, and all chi consumers are free and cool down 100% quicker. So this affects your most important abilities, Rising Sun Kick, Fist of Fury, and this of course does scale really well with Drinking Horn cover, which increases the duration of Serenity by 0.3 seconds every time you cast a Chi Spender, as well as Spiritual Focus on the right side, where every 2 Chi you spend reduces the cooldown of Serenity by 0.3 seconds as well. The CDR talents are a little lackluster, and specking into Rising Star and Transfer the Power, Zuen's Battle Gear and Invoker's Delight, all of these empower your Fist of Fury and Rising Sun Kick damage significantly, meaning you can funnel a lot more focused damage into your rotation. It does appear dependent on Zuen's Battle Gear for Rising Sun Kick and Fist of Fury cycling, but at the moment it doesn't look as if you will be breaking your mastery to funnel Spinning Crane Kick in AoE situations like you do in Shadowlands at the minute. And due to coordinated offensive and calculated strikes not returning at all, it makes Windwalker more cleave and priority damage than the strict insane AoE Bone Dust Brew pad spec that it was coming out of Shadowlands and before. The class hasn't actually changed that much You'll still hard cycle Fist of Fury and Rising Sun Kick for most of your damage, with other nodes being attributed to much smaller percentages of damage. Spinning Crane Kick and Bone Dust won't be doing 80-90% of your damage on fights like it did in Shadowlands, and the strength of the Touch of Death nodes that we have may force you into a Spinning Crane Kick and Bone Dust build brew anyway. Hence the massive dependency on tuning and how Blizzard want to tune the numbers going forward. With Serenity and Zuin's Battle Gear, you'll probably want every GCD to be relevant on Rising Sun Kick and Fist of Fury funnels, so using stuff like Strike of the Windlord, Whirl and Dragon Punch might actually be a DPS loss on pure single target content. We have to do a bit more testing. You know, you need to let Babylonius and the other 30 crafters do their number crunching, but we'll have to wait and see. Overall, I do think both of these builds will be viable, and it'd be nice to see both of them being used. I do hope that Serenity does come out on top, as everybody wants a new playstyle at the minute, instead of Bone Dust Brew and Spinning Crane Kick spam. Personally, through the raid testing and Mythic Plus testing, the Serenity build is a bit more fun, and you don't really lose out on much. The rotation feels fluid, and if anything, it feels better than praying for that Spinning Crane Kick proc to use inside your Bone Dust window on Shadowlands at the minute. Everything is subject to change, but I am quite confident in saying that whilst Blizzard have said they won't make any more class changes, they can tune in abilities going forward in terms of the damage numbers and the healing numbers. I just hope that we aren't forced into a Spinning Crane Kick spam, as while I do enjoy Windwalker and in Mythic Plus, it's really fun pressing Spinning Crane Kick with Dance of the Chi and Mark of the Brain stacks. It would be nice to have a fresh build going into Dragonflight so we can have something new to test out and a little bit more fun. But what do you think? Have you tried Windwalker on the base yet? Have you tried it in the raid testing? Let's have a discussion in the comments about it, because I understand that a lot of people don't like the Bone Dust Brew and Spinning Crane Kick spam. Some people think it's a really engaging form of content, but in regards to raiding and Mythic Plus, I do think it would be nice to have two different builds for each form of content, but at the same time it will take a little bit more testing. We'll have to give it a bit more of a closer look, and I will definitely be giving you the feedback going forward on this channel as well. So if you feel like I helped you understand the interactions between the talents a little bit better, feel free to like and comment. Let's have a discussion in the comments about what you guys would like to see going forward, if you've tried it, and what worked for you. But with that, guys, thank you for watching, and take care.